Ethos,
Yes.
Comac,
Yes.
and Quartermatch.
Yes.
All right, so 18 Pearl Street is continued 7-0.
Okay. Very good. Thanks for me. All right, item 2 on the agenda is a request for a determination of applicability. It's item number 2. It's a public hearing on a request for determination of applicability submitted by Hancock Associates, Caitlin White, for the applicant Brooksby Village, Inc. The owner is PVD Campus LLC. The proposed project consists of plantings and walkways in previously altered buffer zone. Property is known as 1 Brooksby Village Drive, map 27, lot 005X in the city of Peabody.
Good evening. My name is Caitlin White. I'm a wetland scientist from Hancock Associates. If I can, I'd like to share my screen, and I'd be happy to talk about the project.
Okay.
Okay. So I just wanted to orient everyone. I'm sure everyone's familiar with Brooksby Village. So the portion of the property that we're talking about is as you're entering the property, when you pass the employee parking lot,
Mhm.
you have this area that's currently maintained with a gazebo, a putting green, and some lawn area as well as pathways. Um, the resource areas are across Brooksby Village Drive. We have the 2 ponds over here, as well as this, I believe it's a stormwater detention basin, but at this point we're considering it a jurisdictional resource area, again, across the driveway located over here. Okay, here are our plans. Again, I just wanted to show you the aerial so you guys knew where on the property, since it's such a huge development we have out there. Here I highlighted in pink the 100-foot buffer zone just to show you kind of where they're landing on this area. So the project consists of reworking this whole area just to revitalize and add some extra amenities for the
Residents.
residents. Thank you. I was drawing a blank right there. So it's going to entail removing the putting green as well as the gazebo, which are outside of the 100-foot buffer zone. Within the 100-foot buffer zone, some of the pathways are to be removed. 2 trees are to be removed as well. Some grading will take place, just minor grading, just to increase the flatness of the area. As a result of that, we have some drains proposed that will just tie into the existing infrastructure, so stormwater will be maintained. An extensive tree planting and shrub planting schedule is proposed. I believe it's 34 trees as well as shrubs and perennials and things, just to enhance the area and make it appealing, as well as adding native species to the, right now it's just grass, so we're kind of revitalizing. Along with that, there is some work for the walkways that will be a part of the scope of work. And a majority of the work is outside of the 100-foot buffer zone. I want to highlight some temporary disturbance that we have proposed as well. So to support this new wellness park, Brooksby Village needs to install an additional electricity line. So there is a temporary disturbance near this wetland, which is that it was originally, I think, a stormwater feature, but at this point it is vegetated. This is a temporary disturbance, so they're just gonna cut down, not sure how many inches, in order to put the underground electrical unit, which will then connect to the proposed wellness park. This whole area will be filled in and then brought back to its existing condition. We have erosion controls proposed around all the resource areas, and that will act as a limit of work. We expect those to protect the resource areas. Like I said, the project is across from the driveway, so we are expecting minimal disturbance to anything. And I think that kind of sums up the project. I'd be happy to answer any questions. But thank you for your time.
Okay. No, it looks like a simple project and looks like it's planned out well, and most of the work is outside the buffer zone. And the areas in the buffer zone is on the other side of the street from
Yes.
the resource areas. At least in all cases, I think. Yes, I really don't see any issues with this project, providing you install all the BMPs. I think it will be work. Are you putting a pickleball court in there? Did I see?
It's a pickleball and a bocce ball court.
All right, I thought I saw that. Okay. That's pretty popular today.
Mm-hmm.
If I may,
I'm okay with this. How does the commission feel about this? I think a
I
negative
have-
determination would be appropriate for this with some conditions.
I'd just like to ask a question, Mike.
Yeah,
That Caitlin mentioned new stormwater infrastructure. Is that it's can you elaborate on that a little bit more, Caitlin?
Of course. So they're just area drains to tie into the existing infrastructure. So currently stormwater is overland flow to catch basins. So these new drains, are they on this plan?
So it's
They'll
pipe.
just tie into
pipe.
existing just because of the slight grade changes.
So it's like a catch basin that will tie into it, connect to existing infrastructure.
Yes, essentially, yeah.
okay. Do those show on the plan, the new basins?
They should be
They should
just
be on
a
the plan.
matter of finding them.
Is it that square there, or no? That one right close to where your cursor was, right?
Right here's one,
That one.
That's
Yep.
that's a CB.
a catch basin, yeah.
That's a catch basin. And it looks like you're adjusting one of the rims.
Mhm. My engineer states that they are on here. I can definitely look
I
through
can
it
see I can
again.
see the drainage line. I can see the line and I can make out,
Let's
I mean, it's a
see.
good plan. It's just that it's small for the screen that we're looking at, unless you can zoom in, but there we go. Okay, so you have a structure then? Looks like you got a catch basin with some type of structure. Doesn't look like it's rectangular in shape,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes to a structure that's being adjusted. So it looks like there's one, well, I think it's one catch basin, but looks like one catch basin, and then the rest of the system, I think, may be there, and you're just adjusting the castings.
That sounds
What's
correct.
AD4?
AD.
A line that line right there, yeah.
That's in it, looks. I don't know, urban invert, that's a new structure then. I don't know what AD stands for, AD 3 and 4, but,
I'm wondering if these are I think these are the area drains that the engineer was explaining to me,
oh,
how they're
okay,
all connecting in. And then there's another
all
one
right,
here,
so
AD3,
that is
AD2,
new, that's
Yep.
a new trunk line.
and
That
then another one
shouldn't be-
here.
And the rim and invert's 56, so they're down about 3 feet.
And do they,
Will those have sumps in them?
I was just gonna ask that, right?
Yeah.
I
see the
can
rim and
definitely
invert there.
confirm that with the engineer. I wonder if it's on our.
There you go.
Here it is.
Yeah, okay. All right, I saw the sumps. All right, I think,
I have a question as well.
Yes,
through the chair. Caitlin, did you say you're going to be removing the sidewalk on the other side of the work?
It's just a concrete walkway right here.
Okay,
They're making it ADA compliant, I believe.
okay, and that is within the resource area.
It's within the
That's in
100-foot
the-
buffer zone, yep.
Right, okay. Okay, and I guess that's really about it. I thought you were going closer to
Oh, no.
closer to the detention ponds, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
You're
No,
pretty
not
well far
close.
away from it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
any other questions from the commission? And if there aren't any, then does anybody in the audience or from the public want to speak on this matter?
Can I just add another question? Did they,
Certainly.
they're only providing one court at this time? And not that, is there any like indication like they could use two? I mean, how many, I'm just thinking that Brooksby could come back to us and so popular that we need another court in a year or two, like, was there any kind of indication, any thought about what activity people are doing and how much demand there might be?
I do
mean,
not know if I have an answer to that.
I
We
guess
could
we'll
definitely-
deal with it. I guess we'll deal with it when it comes, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Brooksby has such high demand that, this is such a success. Well, oh, we want another one now.
Well, they'll come back and ask for one then.
Yep.
Well, I
Okay.
think bocce court services like 4 lanes almost, doesn't it?
4 lanes.
Yeah, where 4 different teams can play in one
Yeah, there are.
one court.
Mm-hmm. I think it's 2 teams, right? Is one on each side, a team on each side. But yeah, that's a different sport kind of. My thought is like, but yeah, it's nice that they're planning for these activities for the residents. I'm just thinking I wouldn't be surprised if they come back, they need another one in the future, but you'll deal with it when we deal with it.
Mike, are you
Okay.
asking for a friend?
No, just thinking out loud.
Okay, it looks like there's
Okay.
one hand raised in the audience, and if there's anyone else who wants to speak for or against this, raise your hand. I am going to unmute. It looks like Allison Taylor, but I do not know if that is their name. So once you're unmuted, please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Allison Taylor. My address is 190 Garnet Street, Springfield, Massachusetts. I'm the landscape architect for the project. So just wanted to address some of those questions. There
Okay.
was a lot of community input and input in collaboration with the owners on the decision to have just one court. And actually, due to the requirement for the court to be almost completely flat, the site really only accommodates the one in order to accommodate the other elements and drainage. So that's sort of the history of the choice for one court. We actually did explore 2 courts, and it really wasn't, it was really a forced plan.
Okay.
Thank
Well,
you,
thank you.
Allison.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Allison, could you just say you're the landscape architect? Could you just state the name of your business?
Yes, HCM.
HCM?
Yes.
All right, and if I knew, I would have promoted you to a panelist. Did you want me to promote you now, or are you all set?
I think I'm all set unless there are any other questions.
No, I'm good.
All right, great. There's one, if you want to say something again, I'm gonna mute you, and you can of course raise your hand. There is one more hand raised, so hold on a second.
Okay.
If you are a resident, please state your name and address for the record when you are unmuted. Otherwise, if you are an architect or something, please state your business. Hold on.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes,
Appreciate it. So, I'm Anthony Kozowinski. I'm with Erickson Senior Living, corporate office in Baltimore. Allison said it perfectly. I was trying to chime in, but she's already covered it. We just recently built an indoor pickleball court, so this will be our one outdoor. We have one indoor. I was just trying to address the issue of needing to grow, but Allison already did, so appreciate it.
okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, Tony, could you say where you're from again? I'm really sorry. Could you say your full name?
Erickson Living.
Erickson Living, and what's your last
Um,
name?
Anthony Kozowinski, Kuzawinski, Director of Development for Erickson Senior Living Corporate Office. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. If I knew you guys were both in the audience, I would have promoted you to panelists. I'm so sorry.
No, no worries. Thank you.
Okay, and that's it. Nobody else has any comments or questions? Can I get a motion to issue a negative determination with some conditions? And those
First,
conditions,
you do
Yeah.
need to close.
I'm sorry, yeah, it's a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
And do I give a second?
Seconded.
Okay.
All right, that motion to close was made by Harrop, seconded by Green. Roll call. Rizzo,
Yes?
Vivaldi,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Harrop,
Yes.
Athos,
Yes.
Colmack,
Yes.
and Quartermach.
Yes.
All right, so it's closed 7-0.
Okay, and if the commission so wants, I would look for recommendation to issue a negative determination of applicability with maybe a couple conditions when the erosion controls are installed, that Lucia gets contacted so she can inspect them. And let us know when the work is complete so we can go out and review that.
Do we need,
So moved.
Okay, so do I have a motion to issue a negative determination?
So moved.
Second?
second with the conditions as stated?
All right, so
Okay.
that motion for a negative determination with two conditions, one's erosion controls, I'm assuming to be inspected by me, and then a follow-up. So wait, hold on, let me just so erosion control, the condition would be erosion control, erosion controls installed and inspected before work can commence, and then follow-up communication after the work is done for the agent to inspect, correct?
Yes,
All right, so
correct.
that was made by Arthur, seconded by Leslie. Roll call. Rizzo,
yes,
Vivaldi,
Yeah, I was just gonna say, did you mention to the applicant that the certain types of erosion controls are permissible and non-permissible in the city of Peabody?
what is what
Are
is
you gonna-
Caitlin, what's
yeah.
on the plan? I think they might have the appropriate one on the plan, but if you could just double check with the erosion
It
control.
is straw wattle and construction fence.
yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
okay with you
Brooksby's-
guys?
Okay, just
Yeah.
checking. So, yeah, yes, to the negative determination.
All right. I'm carrying on with the roll call. Green,
Yes.
Harrop,
Yes.
Athos,
Yes.
Colmack,
Yes.
and Quartermach.
Yes.
All right, so that passes 7-0 with those two conditions.
Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Thank you, Brooksby. Okay, item number 3, our next item is under notices of intent. It's a public hearing on a notice of intent submitted by John R. Kelty Esquire, legal counsel for Cosmo and Zoe Evangelidis with the owners. The proposed project consists of the construction of 2 duplexes, driveways, utilities, and invasive species work in riverfront and buffer zone to the BVW. Property is known as 309 Lowell Street, map 62, lot 005 in the city of Peabody.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jack Kelty, John R. Kelty, attorney for Cosmo and Zoe Evangelidis, who are the owners of the property at 309 Lowell Street. I'm putting the plan up that was filed with the commission. By way of our filing, we've provided the city and state with the appropriate checks. I am aware that our check to the Commonwealth has not yet cleared, and as such, there is no DEP number having been provided for this project, so we will be unable, in all likelihood, unable to close the hearing tonight. We've filed a plan with the commission. We are proposing 2 lots in addition to the house and barn at 309 Lowell Street. We are proposing to develop 2 duplexes. I'm aware of comments that came from Bill Stansfield at the Department of Public Services. He said that the DPS has the following comments: proposed duplexes should be one owner or a condo association. Actually, I think that Bill was unaware that these would sit on their own lots, which would be a minimum of 7,500 square feet. One is 7,507 and the other is slightly larger. We're proposing duplex lots. We've had a plan signed by the planning board, and we've yet to record it. We thought that we would try to do any order or condition with the plan at that time. Christopher Mello is here this evening with me. His firm prepared the plan. We're happy to discuss various aspects of the plan. The other comment from the Department of Public Services was that there should be a manhole added out on Lowell Street, or on our property as it meets Lowell Street, so that the force main would pump sewage to the manhole, and from there it would gravity flow into the Lowell Street system. We're happy to revise the plan to show that additional manhole. And with that, I'm happy to turn the matter over to Mr. Mello to answer any questions that you may have or about the plan.
Good evening, Chris Mello from Eastern Land Survey. And as a slight presentation before any questions, just going through what we've done, we had filed an ANRAD previously with the commission because we have a riverfront flagging and we have a BVW flagging on this project, which is shown on the plan. And the BVW has a 100-foot buffer, and the riverfront has a 100-foot and a 200-foot buffer, which are both shown and become important in the design of the project. We're looking for 2 duplexes that front on lots that we've created. The duplexes will be served by potable water from North Shore Road, 1 service for each unit. The sanitary sewer will go towards the rear of the units and out towards Lowell Street into force main and into a gravity manhole that will then connect to the city sewer system. We've got the 2 duplexes. One of them is, let me just, in the riverfront. One is partially in the riverfront. And we've got 2 lots. They've got 31,000 square feet that we've carved out. As Mr. Kelty said, lot 1 has 7,500 plus and lot 2 has 24,000. The riverfront sitting on that area, we have part of lot 1 is in the riverfront. All of the construction is within the 100 and 200-foot riverfront area. There is no construction proposed in the 100-foot buffer zone. The work consists of the two dwellings, the excavation, partial and full basement, partial being under the garage space. We have infiltration trenches on both sides of each dwelling to attenuate the stormwater. The work in that buffer zone is temporary. We've got erosion control around the proposed construction itself and around the proposed sanitary lines coming out the back to take that into account to make sure there's no siltation going into the buffer areas or any potential resource. We've also added a planting area on the edge of the I'm going to say the left of the house closest to the resource area, in which we've got quite a bit of invasive species. We'd like to remove that and plant it as such as noted on the plan. The grading will not change much. It's a gentle sloping from Lowell Street towards Proctor Brook. That will remain. And that's a pretty good overview. I'd be happy to answer any questions. I will make one statement that Mr. Del Negro brought up. The notice of intent states that we're exempt from stormwater management because we have 4 units. That is incorrect. I negated to add the existing house into the mix, which puts us at 5, which puts us in a minimal area of stormwater management between 5 and 9 units. And in the, we expect a continuance. I will amend the filing to reflect that. My apologies. Thank you.
Okay. So is there a reason why the existing house on the original lot is not shown?
It's not part of the project.
Well,
It's on its own lot.
well, maybe we think it's part of the project, but it doesn't show there. I know the other plan shows it, but
If you look at the existing conditions plan sheet, whatever the other sheet is, I'm sorry, I've shown it
Yeah.
on that.
right. Okay. Let's see. How long has the owner been at this property? Do you know?
Forever.
Forever.
Jack's gonna give you a date.
Yeah, the deed is dated.
It's got
They've been there for some 40 or so years, but I'll get you the actual date.
Okay, I just was curious about that. All right,
Yeah.
so the way I'm looking at it is this is in a R2 zone, single family or 2-family. And you chose to subdivide this and build 2 houses, 4 houses, or 4-family houses, 4 families
6.
in the resource area. If it's in Riverfront, it's resource. So talk to me about the alternatives analysis that you did for this project.
Before he begins, Mr. Chair, they've owned the property since 1966.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Long time.
Well, that's not forever.
No, it's not.
It is in our life. We filed a riverfront alternative analysis with the notice of intent that talks about the riverfront itself, that we can alter 5,000 square feet or 10% of the lot, which is great, whichever is greater. On this site, 5,000 square feet represents the threshold. We're looking to alter 47 and 40 square feet. The regulations, as they go through them, note that the 100-foot wide natural buffer does not exist between the proposed work. If it does not exist, we shall maintain one. We're not proposing any work within 100 feet of the riverfront. We feel that the stormwater management, at least I did when I had 4 units, that the drip edges would comply with that. I will say now that I will have to do a little augmenting to that, and we'll do so. We feel that the work will not impair the capacity of the riverfront to provide its habitat functions, and it will not degrade the riverfront. The work is in existing lawn areas and area of invasive species, not providing a high quality of wildlife habitat. We've got erosion and sedimentation controls incorporated into the plan with the Filtrex sock barrier. And we are of the opinion that the new construction complies with the riverfront regulations. The alternatives are twofold. One, the no-build alternative, the lawn and buffer remains. The applicant believes that the no-build alternative is not practical, and substantially equivalent economic options don't exist with that. The second alternative is proposed construction with an alternate location on the lot. Our contention is that there's no reasonable place less intrusive on the lot to create these structures. The riverfront alteration remains below the discretionary limit. And I can just read the summary. The goal of the applicant is to construct 2 duplex dwellings. The alternative presenting limited development of the lot. It's our contention that the alternatives do not allow the enjoyment of the property and will not degrade the resource area.
With regard to that, as you know, it is riverfront, it is resource area, and by the activity that you want to propose, that I feel this would have an adverse impact to the resource area, and such that why didn't you find another location to build these houses? Knowing that, you know, you're decided to build in the resource area when in fact this was one lot with one house in a residential area. So what about taking the existing house that was part of the entire lot and making that into a 2-family? That would be the best you could do without any impacts to the resource area. I find this project very intrusive to the resource area, and yeah, I don't think that that's a reasonable answer for building these 5-family home on a lot that was once a single-family home in a residential zone, not to,
It's not a 5-family.
well, there's 5 families.
It's 2
Five-
duplexes
Five
in
different-
the existing house.
There's an existing house, which is a single-family home, and now you want to add to the same piece of property 4 families. So this property now, the original property, would have 5-family home on a lot that's only supposed to have a single family, maybe 2-family. And you want to do it in the resource area. I find this, frankly, looks like it could be intrusive and adverse impacts, cumulative impacts to the resource area. Yeah, I don't even think this is a good project.
And people zoom down North Shore. I mean, that's a area, I guess it's all gonna be opened up now because of but you know, that's a different situation than just wetlands, but you know, at the same time, it's how many times have you been down North Shore and people are flying up to that corner, accelerating from Lowell Street out to towards the mall, use it as a raceway basically, but
That's a good question too.
So I think that this project, excuse me, basically you're taking one lot and you subdivided it. So when you decided to subdivide this lot, did you take into account, I know you're saying you have, but did you really take into account the cumulative effects of the impacts to the resource area, knowing this is riverfront and BVW close by? It's like, we don't want houses here. Our job is to protect the resource area, and now you've come and you're trying to cram 4 families on this piece of property, taking up most of the space with building and driveway. And you haven't convinced me that this is not going to create adverse impacts to this resource area. And I don't think we should have to approve a project because you subdivided a lot and put 2 buildings on it. When in fact it's resource area. I don't see anything that would want me to approve a project of this type. I think it's way too much for this property. I'd say, why don't you make the main house a 2-family and leave the rest out?
Jack, what is,
You haven't explained well enough about how this is not going to create cumulative adverse impacts to the resource area. I see drainage with a head wall that's going somewhere. I don't know if that's an existing, or is that proposed head wall out into the public way? Is that existing?
The head wall.
Oh, is that a question?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That is, those are from the trench drains in the driveway to.
Yeah, so right there, you got salt and chemicals probably from the driveway, and runoff, maybe if cars are in there and oil and gas and stuff getting into that, and just pumping that and just letting that go right out into the resource area. It's gonna be, you're directly putting that right into resource area.
That was my question, where on the 2 duplexes, where, I can't see because the plan is too small for me, but where are the driveways? Are they underneath the duplex?
There was parking under the duplex, but the whole front side is all paved driveway.
Right. So when it floods, because it will flood, it does flood, the
is
water will go
flood
into
zone,
the
too.
into the garage driveway.
Yeah, and that's.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vehicles at least that will be there.
Yeah, this is way over designed for a lot like this that should not have 4 more families living on this property, being in the resource area. And,
who's the future owner of that area, that the large area in the back rear part of the lot? Is it one of those duplexes, or will the new owners or the existing owners continue to own that wetland area in the rear part of the property?
The duplex would own the remaining area of property as evidenced by this plan.
So the owners of the property
Right.
will be ceding their property to two new owners.
Well, 4, is it like a condominium, is a
No,
HOA?
Probably 4 new owners.
Yes, in all likelihood, the 2 new lots. By the way, we did get an A&R approved, but we've yet to record it. But our proposal would be that all of the property at some future date, given the fact that my clients have been there since 1966, it's time for the family to move on, and we're trying to assist them in maximizing the yield from the property. So
Yeah.
the remaining area to the left of the second proposed duplex, that would be part of the duplex lot, unless there was I could make that duplex lot smaller and perhaps gift or donate that wetland area to the city if it had the
I think a
value.
conservation restriction or gifting it to the
Sure.
city would probably be better, yeah,
Sure.
than have it in private hands.
Through the chair,
Yes,
I just want everyone to know I'm not in support of this project at all. And I'll be voting no, no matter what. But I'm open to a site visit.
Yeah, we definitely have to do a site visit. You know, the wildlife is affected by this. It's floodplain, it's a flood zone. It's just not a spot that homes should be put on. Given the fact that this is a R2 zone, so this house, this subdivision or this land, this property was built in an R2 zone for a single family home. And here we are in an R2 zone on one lot, going to have 5 potential families. What is happening with us in this city?
Well, they're leaving, so they don't care, you know?
No,
I mean,
Mike,
this is,
Mike, we're not proposing 5 units on they land at 309 Lowell. If we were able to go forward and yield one lot, it would perhaps be approved, then we would alter the plans so that we just show the one duplex lot and then perhaps another lot to be subjected to a conservation restriction or gifted to the city if the city had any interest in it.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3 lots, but what Mike Rizzo's saying is that generally where there was 1, now there's gonna be 5 families, but on 3 different
That's true.
lots. Three
Yeah.
different lots, but still, it's kind of, in a sense, it's kind of feels like it's 1 lot. Where there
Yeah.
used to be 1.
That's correct.
yeah.
Right.
So
And
I-
that is a busy corner, without
Very
a doubt.
busy, very busy.
Yeah, I have a lot of reservations for this project.
For the chair,
Um,
Jack, could you go back to the screen where it shows the 2 lots, the 2 duplexes, and you mentioned, the last thing you mentioned was that if the lot 1 was maintained and the second duplex lot would be given over to the city. Could you put that on the screen for us?
Could I put it on the screen? Why don't you go back to the existing?
So we can all
It is.
see it?
So
Yeah.
Arthur, you see the lot, the line that separates the 2 duplexes right in the middle?
Right
Yeah,
there.
That's the dividing line between that and then out left of that, all the way out to the river, all the way out to the
So that falls within the 200-foot riverfront boundary. Where exactly is the 200-foot river? Oh, it's way over here. Can you trace the 200-foot riverfront boundary for me?
Looking right there. We're tracing it now, yep.
So so that falls within the 200-foot.
That's correct.
Yeah, both buildings are in the resource area.
Right.
I don't think there should be any buildings in the resource area for this project.
Yeah, through the chair. I'd just like to ask Chris, and again, I don't know about the lot lines and sizes of the lots and stuff like that. There's obviously a decrepit old garage barn that's fallen down. Why can't that be removed and and make the lots, if you want, move everything closer?
Yeah.
Or is that doesn't work? I don't know if that works.
Mr. Evangelides has been renovating that barn for a few years, and beam by beam, he's been replacing it. And I think he's, in the 60 odd years he's been there, he's not likely to give that up easily. But
you couldn't put a house there.
No, he's saying we'd move the
No,
lot.
I'm saying
I get you, Bruce.
tear
You
the
move the
barn
lot
down,
line, you could
tear
move
the
the house.
barn down, slide
Yeah,
the
okay.
slide the 2 lots further closer to Lowell Street.
like a hammerhead even too.
Well, just get rid of the barn. And again, I get it, but I'm looking at, again, I see he's been renovating, but I'm looking at a Google Street View. I'm looking at a Google Street View that's of a falling apart barn. Now, it's probably not like that now, because this is from
No,
July.
it is.
No, it
It
is.
is.
But
So,
that lot
I mean,
line, I'm sorry, Bruce, that lot line is set 35 feet from the existing 309 dwelling. And then it jogs around the barn. The only thing I could do there is project that lot line and get rid of the little radius. So I'm not going to be able to move. Because of the setback.
Have you, have you talked to zoning at all on this project?
Well, we've got an A&R approved in conformance with zoning. We're really not interested in going before the Board of Appeals and looking for zoning variances where we don't really have any need because
But
we
you're
have the
creating
land.
but now you're creating a non-conforming lot.
No, I'm not.
No.
By,
Yeah,
Mike, by having an A and R, the lots conform. It doesn't, it's not a ZBA kind of activity.
Well, I think it should be because where the existing house is, if you subdivide the lot and you put a new property line, and now your existing barn is non-compliant because you should have, that becomes a rear lot line, and that should be 35 feet. You've got 11.
No, not the barn.
That's
Not
incorrect.
the
It
barn,
needs to be
Mike.
10 feet.
10 feet.
10 feet for the barn.
Oh,
35 feet
An
at the
accessory
rear
dwelling,
of
right?
the existing dwelling.
Oh,
It's just an accessory. The barn is just accessory, so
10-foot rear yard, side yards. Actually, 5 feet.
No, 10.
I
10,000.
don't like this project. To me, I look at this and this is like segmentation to me. Where you're creating your own hardship by choosing to subdivide a lot and build in resource area and putting us in a position where we don't want structures and all this work in a resource area next to floods. It's a flood zone. Again, I think this is would create adverse impacts, cumulative adverse impacts to the resource area. And you are the ones who are creating this. Okay, you're creating this hardship and you're putting us in a position to try to approve something. I don't think we have to do that.
may
don't
I
think we
suggest
should
that
do
we take public comment and try to find a time in which to make a site visit and move to the next project?
Okay, I'm for that. So Lucia, if you want to, if there's no other questions from the commission, I'd like to open it up to the public.
Yep, right now, Counselor Jared Hockman is a panelist, and there's one more person in the audience, but Jared was the first hand up, and he is a panelist, and he is our city
Okay.
councilor.
All right, thank you.
Good evening. How is everyone tonight?
Good, thank you.
It's good to see some old friends still on the Conservation Commission. Mr.
Right,
Rizzo,
yeah.
Mr. Colmack. I served on the Conservation Commission, I think from 2008 to 2012. It's good to see Jack and Chris as well, whom I had interactions with from that time and continue to. I've been watching this project. Frankly, I was a little surprised that the planning board approved the project. The lot closest, I have serious concerns about from a conservation perspective and other perspectives. The lot closest that's created, that's closest to the existing structure, has to be gerrymandered to get to the 7,500 square feet, which is the minimum lot size for a two-family. There's that little sliver in the back that allows for that lot to meet that minimum square footage. I think under the statute, the commission has a lot of authority to either get more information at the applicant's expense or to deny this project. I think the commission is entitled to a wildlife habitat study to determine the impact of taking 15,000 square feet of what's currently unimproved land. And I'm not on the commission anymore, so I'm not privy to receiving drawings before the meeting, and I can't see well enough to determine how much space the two dwellings that are being proposed will take up, and how much impervious materials will be put on these two lots. That's a concern. The commissioners have already talked about the flood zone and the need to protect the riverfront area. I think that the commission has the authority to reject the plan simply because it's moving or intruding within the 200-foot buffer zone that the ordinance allows. And it's just a difficult project. I think Commissioner Colmack might have hit on something that might be agreeable. The existing garage is probably a footprint that's big enough to put some sort of residential dwelling on the property without intruding upon the resource area.
You mean the
And
barn?
maybe that's the barn.
Yes.
The barn, it's a huge, and it is dilapidated. It's been dilapidated for a long time. No one's, I'm not blaming the Evangelides, who are wonderful people. I'm not, they're trying, it is troubling after 60 years of owning the property to have a light bulb go off saying that it's now time to develop this property. They didn't, apparently didn't need the economic benefit that they're now looking for over the course of time that they live there, and they raise their family there. I mean, I know the family fairly well. They're nice people. I just have serious concerns from a conservation perspective, and I think you folks have hit on several of them. But I think you're entitled to, if you do wish to, pursue maintaining at least this project on your agenda. I would ask that you do more than site visit. I would ask that you require the applicant to satisfy some of the obligations that you're entitled to, including a habitat study, including, I think that there's some issues with, I think Chairman Rizzo identified with regard to petroleum leaching back into this unimproved land with I think, and I can't see it, but at least when I was at the planning board, it sounded like the access to these two lots was going to come through Lowell Street and past the barn. I can't see that on the plan, so I'm not sure if that's right, but that's certainly going to be drawing motor vehicles in through this property. It does slope. It's not a terrific gradient change, but it does slope back towards the resource area. So that would be the natural flow. Anyway, for those reasons, I appreciate the commissioners affording me the opportunity to speak and the time to talk today. And I look forward to watching what develops with this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Anyone?
there's one more hand. I am going to unmute you, and please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. I'm Tanya Costa, as well as Bob Costa, who's here along with me on 305 Lowell Street. We are the neighbors to 309. Very nice people, correct. We love them and have had great relations over the last 2 decades. My concern, though, I want to put on the record is what's going to happen to prevent the flooding with the displacement of the water. We have a lot of projects going on, or the attempt to. We have the walking path in the back, which we should not forget that's going on. Then we have 309, which wants to put in this place, which I see 6 families, 3 lots divided, however we want to word it. And then we also have 303. I know we'll talk about that next, but I just want to put that on the record on what I want to say is to prevent the flooding, because there is.
Have you had flooding in your yard?
It will come up to a point. I want to say it's about 50 feet away from the house. And I know next to me on 303, it completely floods further to that point. So saying that if these two develop the way that they want to with the 3 lot development along with this 2 house over to the right, I do see invasion. So that's all I have to say. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else, Lucia, that want to speak on this?
Not now. I don't see anyone else in the audience. I mean, we may see people at the next meeting. I know one city councilor said that they had prior commitments, so they weren't able to attend tonight. They probably would have. But
Okay.
I too share the same sentiment as many of you on the commission. My interest was very piqued when I heard Attorney Kilty say that he would gift the riverfront to us. Reason being is as soon as that townhouse goes in, 2 years down the line, someone's going to be trying to clear into the wetlands because like the geraniums and all those things aren't going to prohibit them from doing it. So I just see the next agent, if it's not me, they're going to have a hard time and this riverfront's going to probably get destroyed. But I mean, obviously we can't, work on what's going to happen. But the plan, when I was out there, and Councilor Hodgman, touched on another really good, about the habitat. When I was out there, the turkeys were 100% using the knotweed to their advantage. So there's definitely wildlife using that area, and all that knotweed, you guys never saw it. I would like you guys to see it. That's all going to be gone. It was never shown on a plan. I know it was there. It's basically the buffer between the actual riverfront, the BBW, and the grassed area right now. My opinion is 3 lots is definitely overkill on this. If they could maybe break it in 2 lots and gift us the riverfront and the BBW and 25 no disturb zone at least. If you guys look at those plans, there's a retaining wall where Leslie was talking about. And I think they are actually in our 25 no disturb zone. Now that I'm looking at it, which I'm not 100% sure they paid the extra fee for those for that. So I would have to double check because there would be an extra fee if you're doing work in the 25 no disturb zone because there's 100-foot riverfront, 200-foot riverfront, and then there's the 100 bordering vegetated wetland buffer. And I don't know if you guys see that, but there's 2 no disturb posts. Those don't look 25 feet. I didn't scale them out though, and it's too difficult. I mean, maybe Jack can touch on that. But I mean, at this point, it sounds like we want the plans revised, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I have another question on the plan that I see the designation for the BBW over at Proctor Brook and the BBW on the A series flags, and I see the 100-foot riverfront and the 200-foot riverfront, but there's another line on here that's troubling me. There's another line that cuts through that middle house that's proposed, and it says 100-foot BVW boundary.
That's correct. That's the 100-foot BVW boundary from the A series flags.
That's 100-foot. Okay, it's hard to tell with the scale.
Okay. Well, we can certainly clarify that, Mr. Rizzo.
All right.
Do we want to do colors?
If you guys wanted to try and set up a site visit while we're here, whatever you guys, I'll figure it out. If I can't be there, I won't, I'll try my best to be there. If it's after hours, I'll do whatever. I think it seems very difficult to try to get everyone together after we leave this
Yeah.
meeting. So I don't know if anyone,
It would have to be in a couple of weeks. I wouldn't be able to do it next week. But probably sometime after that, I could.
Available.
Like the 23rd or the 24th, something like that would. Or even the 20. Anytime 21st to the 24th, I could fit in a site visit. I don't know of the rest of you guys.
I'm available.
Okay. So maybe we can, did you want to kind of coordinate, Lucia, on that and maybe get a visit in those days?
I mean, what do you guys want to figure it out Thursday, the 23rd is my long day. So I can double check my schedule. I just got to get out of this full screen. I just feel like once we get out of this meeting, it's going to be extremely difficult, to set up a site visit because we had a couple other ones that we never been
Yeah.
able to set up.
Yeah,
Great. If we all
23rd.
look at our calendars at once. What about the 23rd, which is a Thursday?
Yeah.
What time is convenient for people?
Probably after 5, probably 6 or something. Would that be reasonable for most people?
That's okay with me. Lucia, you work till what, 8?
7.
Yeah, I'm there till 7, so I can definitely do whatever you guys, I'm there, I will figure it out. As long as it's not like a Friday at 6, I should be okay.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone wants to be there Friday at 6. I think it still stays fairly light at 6 anyway, so
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Still pretty light. I just checked my schedule and I don't really have anything crazy at work that I can't miss. So did we want to say Thursday, April 23rd at 6 p.m.?
Sounds great.
Amanda, would that work for you? Do you think you'll be able to get out there?
I am working night shift right now,
No.
so I don't think so. I have to leave for work about 6 o'clock.
Could earlier that day work for you? Like if we 5:35, or would that work for anyone else?
Could you push it? Could you push it to 5? I would like to join, but I have an engagement a little bit later.
I can anytime after I have I got Comcast coming here at noon to fix something. But otherwise I'm open all day Thursday and I only have somebody coming
4
noontime, so
o'clock?
that'd be
4?
fine. I could do any time in the PM.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I think 4 or whatever will work.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be fine.
4
4
o'clock?
works for me.
4 o'clock.
Jack, I'm assuming that works for you.
Yes.
And I'm assuming possibly the Costas might want to, will they be allowed on the property?
Sure.
All right, so okay, so we have a site visit set up for Thursday, April 23rd at 4 p.m. at 309 Lowell Street.
Okay. Any
So-
ideas where we park? Is there room in the driveway?
There
Kinda
is
busy.
limited space in the driveway, but that would become available, and North Shore Road is kind of narrow, but
Yeah.
what? We'll park in the Costas.
No, you should be able to park on Lowell Street somewhere and walk up.
Okay.
You can
All
park
right.
on the highway. You can park on the highway median. No, you can park.
There might be like a side street that you could park on, and then you probably have to get your steps in that day. But yeah,
Right, yeah.
it's very tight. There's probably about, I mean, if everyone parks respectfully, it's a pretty big driveway, so you guys would all
Yeah.
probably be able to fit on, and then I can park on one of the side streets and walk down.
Parking is permitted on the south side of Lowell Street, east of 128.
Okay. Okay. Outside Lowell Street.
All right, I don't see any other hands raised. Do you guys want to go ahead and make a motion to continue to the next meeting?
God,
Yes.
yes. I mean, yes.
Somebody wants to make a motion to continue this to our next meeting?
The motion to continue the project at 309 Lowell Street for
And second,
notice of intent to May 8th, May
6th.
meeting? May
I think
6th,
it's May 6th.
May 6th, 2026?
yeah,
Am I correct?
Second.
Yes.
Did I hear a second?
Second.
All right, great. So that was made to continue by Vivaldi, seconded by Harrop. Roll call. Rizzo,
yes,
Vivaldi,
Yes.
Green,
Yes,
Harrop,
Yes.
Athos,
Yes.
Comac,
Yes.
and Quartermanch.
Yes,
All right, so the item is continued 7-0.
all righty. Very good, all right, thank you, Jack. And we move on to item 4, which is next door, goes to it. Item number 4 is a public hearing on a notice of intent submitted by Williams Rajas LLC, Justin Fox from Northeast Arc. Eric Byrne and up is the applicant. The owner is North Shore Heritage Association. The proposed project consists of paved parking area, retaining wall, concrete walk, grading, stormwater in the buffer and riverfront. The property is known as 303 Lowell Street, map 62, lot number 7.
Is the property owner applicant here?
He's just denying anything. Well, anyway.
Good evening, everybody. Pete Blaisdell here, I believe, with Mr. Kelty.
He will deal with them. But now they're just denying it. So what the fuck?
If I may, this is Jack Kelty, and I'm working with Peter and Williams and Sparagus on this project. And at the last meeting, there were several questions that arose, which were related to how is it that you can put 2 dwellings on one lot? And we have today filed with the planning board under the provisions of site plan review and the planning board rules and regulations their rules and regulations do provide for a waiver that may and can be granted, and that waiver is under the provisions of section the very beginning of the wetlands. I'm sorry, the very beginning of their rules and regulations. It provides for the allowance of 2 structures intended for occupancy and dwelling. It's planning board rules and regulations, section 2, subsection D. And we will be seeking that waiver from the planning board during the process of site plan review.
And it's for the ability to put 2 houses on one lot?
Yes.
Wow.
2 dwellings on one lot. It's a waiver that I've gotten at least one time during my career here in Peabody.
constitutes a waiver. What would be the criteria for that?
The waiver provision says that where they allow it, they can require proper access as if it were, a subdivision plan. They can provide proper access and width of pavement, etc., under their rules and regulations.
Holy mackerel.
So
We haven't been there yet, so we'll be there next week, and that question will come before them, and we don't know that they're going to give us the waiver. They're not they do have discretion. And as such, we're, we don't know whether they're going to provide us with that waiver next week.
All right. That's very interesting.
So with that, Peter.
Thank you, Jack.
Okay,
Hi, everybody. Just for the record, Pete Blaisdell from Williams and Sparagus. Continuing from our February 24th, 2026 initial public hearing. Since that time, I believe, I know Lucia did a wonderful job trying to get everybody out to the site. I'm not sure how many people actually made it out. But if you did, you probably would have seen that we staked the limit of the erosion control. We staked the limits of the new building, and we staked, I believe, the center line of the driveway. Possibly, I can't remember if we put a couple of parking spaces in there, but would at least a few of the members have the chance to go and take a look at it?
I believe Amanda did.
Okay. Just you, Secretary Green?
No, I haven't been out there yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you did.
That's okay. See, Lucia, I believe you made it out to the site to take a look at it with Justine. Is that the case?
Nope, I was gonna go out on Monday, and the guys who are working out there were hogging the driveway, and it was very dangerous. So that being said, we have a site visit on April 23rd, 2 doors down. Do we want to seg into both properties, move from this one to that one?
that'd be good. I'd do that.
Because I really do think we all need to see it. And it was, yes, I was supposed to get in there with Justine. Last minute I decided didn't feel like bushwhacking, and so she was like, well, if we're not going to check out the wetland flags, you could, and I was like, yeah, I'll go out on my own. And then I tried, and it was very difficult, and it was just like Monday from hell, and I didn't feel like crashing my car on Lowell Street trying to get in there, trying to turn around so many times. But anyway, do we want to set up a site visit for April 23rd at 5?
That'd be great. If it's okay, that's okay
That
with me.
sounds fine to us.
And same question, would the public be welcome on site? Obviously you can, if you guys want to, have them sign waivers or whatever to get on the property, that is up to the property owner and their attorneys. But that's something you can tell us, I guess, that day. We've had, property owners have the neighbors stay on the sidewalk. If that's the case and the neighbors are not allowed, there can be no discussion. It's just for looking at stuff, and then the discussion has to be on the sidewalk.
Okay.
I'll let Jack answer that. I don't
Yeah,
think
Peter,
that-
I don't think that we would object to, I think we'll probably see the Costas there for sure. And perhaps Jared.
I don't think Northeast Arc has any
Objection.
any problem with, or any objection with any from the public wanting to take a walk on. It might actually answer a few questions, so sure.
Attorney Kelty, have you filed that waiver request yet?
Yes, we filed this morning, Peter.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. It just seems it seems like the zoning board should be aware that the conservation is not pleased with putting us in a position of having to approve a subdivision in a resource area.
It's not a subdivision.
The other one was.
Yes,
This is
that
not
one
that.
provided new lots for each of the structures. This is trying to not create a new lot, but instead ask for the waiver allowing 2 dwellings on 1 lot. So same, I think, Leslie, same result, just different way of.
I just threw up a just the rendering just so you can take a look at it. Leslie.
And And yeah, and about, is there other restrictions with regard to adding, well, even say an addition? A minimum square footage if a house is so many square feet, that you can add a second dwelling in that's bigger than the original house, or that has to be a smaller percentage of area from the original house. And I say that because that would reduce, the
footprint.
how close it is to the resource area, and it could possibly get it moved closer to Lowell Street. Or by even putting the two buildings together, so it's one building instead of two separate buildings. I'm not
aware of any.
I'm not up to speed on the square footages, adding an addition.
I'm not aware of any restriction, Mr. Rizzo, that
Okay.
as Attorney Kelty mentioned, there's a provision in the subdivision rules or regulations that we require for the waiver for. To my knowledge, there's no size restriction. We did have a conversation with Eric Byrne from Northeast Arc, and we had a conversation with David Sorgman, who is the architect. The reservations that we have here, the new building in back, we'd like to add a sprinkler system to it. So one of the things too that the architect mentioned is that if you have a building in the back that has sprinklers that has a fire suppression system, it may not be the best idea to co-join those two buildings with a covered walkway that then the fire could spread from one building to another. We're showing the buildings about 20 feet apart, which is our estimation is a good enough distance away. So they're still separated, but they're still close enough that they kind of feel in the same area. So that's the reason that at this point Northeast Arc has requested that we keep the buildings separate and keep moving forward in the permitting process. We did hear some of your comments from last time, and we did try to improve a little bit. For instance, one of the suggestions and one of the things that we decided was to take down the existing garage that's here. So that's going to remove about an additional 445 square feet of impervious area from the site. And in doing that, that means that now we don't have to go around the garage. One of the other things that we wanted to do is we moved the driveway over a few feet from I believe if that's the lady that was on the earlier one at 305, just to give a little more room for some grading and green space here. We also decided that it might be better just to narrow the pavement a little bit, just to reduce some of the runoff. And in doing that, we pulled the parking spaces up the hill a couple of feet. Again, all of the area that we talked about before was all going to be within the limit of what's already cleared. We're not going to go past the existing tree line. So all of that area that's there is grass now. You'll see that when you go out there now that the snow has melted. So beyond that, those are the major changes that we made. Just like I said, just trying to reduce. We reduced the amount of impervious area by about 800 to 1,000 square feet. Gave a little bit more room for some landscaping and for some buffering between here and the neighbor next door. I didn't reduce the size of the subsurface drainage system at all. Just because it's a little bit over designed, but that just means that it's going to handle any runoff from our site even that much better. The soils were good here. So those are the major changes that we made since the last time. But other than that, like I said, I think having the commission go out and take a look at it on the ground, you might get a better sense of it.
Okay.
Through the chair, and again, I can't tell by measurements, but I see the 100-foot buffer zone line. If you slid the buildings together, wouldn't you be out of our jurisdiction?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
No, because the 200-foot riverfront is here. So we would still even if we slid them up 20 feet, we would still have the parking would be within the 200-foot riverfront. So no matter what we do, we would always have some activity, Mr. Comack, in the resource area.
Okay. I don't see, I'm sure it's on there. I see the 100-foot buffer, BVW buffer, but I don't see the riverfront line.
Oh, okay, so this yellow line right here, Mr. Cormack, it says 100, that's the 100-foot buffer zone from the BVW. This purple or magenta line, that's the 200-foot riverfront line.
Okay, yeah.
So they're almost right on top of each other, which is unusual. And then moving back, I know you probably were interested. This would be the 25-foot no disturb zone from the edge of BVW, which obviously we have no desire or any plans to go back that far. That's just where that is. That blue line there, that is that's the limit of the zone AE, elevation 47. And that line there is the 100-foot riverfront. And then back here is Emmanuel Ave.
Peter, what is that, the square box is in behind the second new building, new structure? Is that a septic or something else? Parking, you said?
Right here, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah, Mike, that's gonna be subsurface recharge chambers.
All right, subsurface stormwater, okay.
Correct. So any runoff from the existing high point of the lot now is all going to be captured on site. We had to do a full stormwater report, both for the notice of intent and for planning board, adhering to the 10 DEP stormwater standards. So we're actually going to have a slight reduction in the amount of rate of runoff that's going to be leaving the site and heading back towards Proctor Brook. So we're going to capture all of our own runoff, run it through a deep sump catch basin, run it through a sediment and oil separator for additional treatment, and then infiltrate.
Okay.
And the snow storage you have on the map here on the plan is right on the back. It's within the 200-foot riverfront area, right?
So we're gonna we actually designated that we could put snow here as well. But most of it, yeah, I would say is probably going to be as if I were plowing, I would probably be plowing down at the end and then storing it on adjacent to the driveway.
Okay. I know this is a much needed project, but my question is I get confused when this is an R2 zone, which is residential.
Yes, sir.
Single family or two family, and yet there's gonna be two buildings parking for 10 parking spaces plus the other one. How that falls into does that fall in the category of an R2 district?
So they're both considered single family homes by code, Mr. Rizzo.
Okay.
But to answer your question, and you're raising a good point, which is I'll go back to what Mr. Kelty said. We're requesting a waiver of that provision to allow us to put two dwellings on one lot. So that's how we're addressing it.
All right. I had another question because the riverfront, you're doing work in the riverfront, and in the riverfront, you're doing paving. And I noticed in your sections, you're using crushed recycled concrete in some of that compacted areas, and I don't think, is that allowed? Is that allowed in the resource area?
I'm not aware of any crushed recycled concrete that we're using.
It's on your detail.
It's gonna be to the best of my knowledge, it could be a typo. To the best of my knowledge, we're just gonna be using an 8-inch good subgrade below the pavement, and then all of the.
It was part of the storm, it looks like it's part of the Storm Tech chamber system specifications, and they spell out that you're gonna be using clean crushed angular stone or recycled concrete. And I don't think recycled concrete belongs.
Yeah, that's just, I think that's just a manufacturer's allowance. I mean, we're not going to be using any recycled concrete. That might be certain parts of the. Yeah.
All right, we'll see where we go anyways with your appeal and stuff going. So but as we move on, if next time, if you could take that off, at least take that part of the deep, that so we're
So
sure that,
that's a manufacturer's detail, Mr. Rizzo. I don't change those.
We'll have them
gives the
change it.
like it gives the engineer, or it gives the installer an opportunity to do different things, like, but usually it says has to have approval from the design engineer, and I have never been requested to use recycled concrete
Yeah.
ever to put underneath one of these.
that's why I was a little like troubled when I saw that. I'm going, wait a minute, that's,
Oh, okay. Well, don't be troubled. I would never recommend it.
well, when the contractor bids it, he's looking at a detail and the detail says, I can use this or this. That's my concern. Not you, but
Oh,
maybe
it-
the contractor.
Trust me, if you ever sat in my chair, you wouldn't believe how many phone calls you get from a contractor asking if things are right or not. But we will not be using recycled concrete to the best. I mean, at least I've never ever specified it in 30 years.
Yeah, well, me neither.
Just stone.
All right. Okay, so I guess some of, concerns and questions are still unanswered, and hopefully we'll find out how you make out with your appeal process, and we'll see you at the site visit. So is the commission has no questions, we can open this up to the public and hear what they have to say.
Yep, there's one hand raised and I am going to unmute them. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. It's Tanya Coster and Bob Coster, 305 Lowell Street. Once again, I want to focus in on Zone 2. I feel like there's a lot of things going on this street, particularly left and right to us. I will state once that going to be, how we're going to prevent the flooding with the displacement of water. That's a big project over to the right. Chairman, I'm a little concerned with you saying that it's a much needed project. I don't understand what that statement means.
Well, I mean, I think there's for not so much housing and how this project, who this project serves.
I understand who it serves, but once
it's a-
again, it's a Zone 2 area. And
No,
when we go ahead
I'm totally on the same page as you. I'm talking about the reason for the building, but where the building's going is a big concern of mine.
once again, I'm a military family. Are we going to go ahead and dedicate to me and all my service members and create another platform and have a house for them? Once again, we need to focus in on Zone 2, how this is going to affect the conservation area. Where is the snow really going to go? Because what I see is going to go against my fence and against my property. You're going to have 2 houses. We're talking, what, 8 families technically?
Right.
On this side
No.
of the house, we're talking 10 cars, we're talking recycle. Are we gonna have a trash bin with a dumpster and the recycling bin coming down, the dumpster truck? I just see this is a large, complex event. And an area where I feel should just be a single home, maybe 2 families in one home, so on and so forth. I don't.
I concur with you
Mr.
on that.
Chairman,
I
through-
think-
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I can answer some of Mrs. Costa's questions if you allow me.
Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Costa, thanks for your question. You first with the flooding, of course, it's always an issue. That's why flood studies are done and the maps are updated, every few years. But we do have to adhere to Department of Environmental Protection stormwater standards, which means we have to capture and treat all of our runoff on site, and we have to show that we're going to have no impact downstream. So we're actually going to capture all of our runoff in our own drainage system and infiltrate it into the ground. This is not going to be families. This is not an apartment building. It's not a for-profit. This is not going to be something that you're going to see. Like I said, different families come in. This is going to be for people that are audio impaired. I believe this is audio impaired. Technically, it's 2 4-bedroom houses, so there's no families here. There are people here that need to be supervised at all times, and there will be vehicles there from staff. The maximum amount of people that will be housed here will be 4 people per house, so there could be a maximum of 8. There could be as little as 1 or 2, depending on the availability in the residency. As far as the trash goes, there's going to be an enclosed fenced-in area behind the rear building. They're just going to be bins that are going to be rolled up to the street and then collected from PV Waste Management. We're going to try to give more room from the driveway to your property, and yeah, it certainly is a concern, which why we didn't show any snow storage areas against your fence. We tried to put them all in the back or against the new buildings. We can certainly try to emphasize that with a condition, or we could try to make it such that we could put a fence there closer next to the driveway so that the snow doesn't get pushed up against your fence. I think that answers your 3 top questions that you had there, but please ask me if you have some more.
I have a question. Was an alternatives analysis required for this project?
I believe so. That would have been covered by Justine in the notice of intent. I believe Lucia took a look at it.
Okay.
I
one of
haven't
the-
looked at this file through the chair. I haven't looked at this file in a while, since before the last meeting.
Yeah, the simple question I ask is, due to the nature of how it really impacts this site, which is a kind of a small site for all this, for this kind of construction, could you have found a better location, someplace else than here?
Well, I think they're trying to put them in where they can. As I said, we just did one town of Danvers at 110 Collins Street. We're actually doing another one right now at Northeast Arcs headquarters over on South Side Road. They have some area available there. So it is my understanding, Mr. Chairman, there is quite a need for these types of facilities, and Northeast Heritage and Northeast Arc are trying to put them in where they can.
Okay.
Through the chair, I believe there's another person in the public that wishes to speak, so I'm going to go ahead and allow them to speak. Robin, you should be unmuted if you could say your name and address for the record. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I'm just looking at the plan through the chair. You asked for the alternatives analysis. I mean, I'm looking at this. Why can't you put the driveway between the 2 houses and get out of our riverfront and our buffer zone? Like, you would literally be like a foot away from our buffer zone, and you wouldn't even need this public hearing.
There's not enough room, Lucia, to put in 10 vehicles between the buildings.
Why can't you move that little square right there? Like, there's like a jetty off of that building. Why can't it just turn into, like a...
Because you need almost 60 feet across from parking space to parking space, because they're 18 feet, 24 feet in between, and then 18 again. So you need almost 60 feet in between the buildings. So if you gave 60 feet in between the buildings, you'd actually have to push the building back another 40 feet towards the riverfront. So that's I did look at this as many different ways as I could. This actually turned out to be, the least amount of disturbance in the riverfront. And again, I know that the riverfront is a jurisdictional area and it's a resource area, but remember, we're not disturbing any area that already hasn't been disturbed in the riverfront. It's all lawn now, and we're not going past that lawn.
All the snow removal will go there.
So,
And that's gonna be a lot of snow removal.
so,
I
snow
understand
storage-
you really don't have any place to store it.
Well, the intent would be, to store, snow all across the back of the parking area and all around this area wherever we can. Obviously, this winter kind of destroyed anybody that tells me now that any site plan in the city of Peabody or anyone around that showed adequate snow storage was probably wrong, because I think every snow storage area was probably exceeded the capacity. Under normal years, the snow disposal guidelines ask for you to put snow storage in areas that are allowed to permeate into the ground. So by placing this all in this area outside of the existing tree line on what is now lawn and will remain lawn, that will give an opportunity for the snow to melt into the grass.
But that's riverfront.
Yeah.
That's
is,
riverfront
and
and that's gonna
it's-
be, and the driveways are salted, and then you're gonna store snow in the riverfront.
So all the salt and the TSS removal is going to be going through a catch basin, a sediment oil separator, and then into the ground.
I'm talking about the snow, when they're between storms
Right.
and they come out and they salt and they spread the chemicals. And then they get
And if
scooped
you,
up
and
and
if
they
you
get
have,
dumped
if
in-
you have,
dumped
if
into
you
the
have
resource area.
workers, if you have workers
Yeah.
coming in, then you're gonna be, they're gonna have to be plowing. So the workers will be able to walk from the building to the car to the building. So you'll need a lot of snow removal, and you'll need to lay down a lot of salt.
So I don't know that anybody really uses. I don't know. I use calcium chloride at home because I have a couple of dogs and I try to keep it pet friendly, and salt rots and eats concrete. So
Yes, it
you can
does.
certainly-
Well, whatever
certainly-
de-icer that you would have to use.
Okay, no, please understand, I'm with you. I really am, but let's remember that there's areas in the city of Peabody all over the place that are within the 200-foot riverfront that have the same type of setup, and they use either calcium chloride or they use salt. This is nothing that's going to be any different than any other site, except this one actually has better treatment before it gets into the ground or before it gets into the
Question, is the proposed dwelling, is that a single story or two-story?
I believe it's a single story.
So if you made it why would you not consider having a two-story and reducing the size of the new structure? Was that ever considered?
To my knowledge, this is the way they had anticipated being the best fit for this type of use. I don't know why they wouldn't put a second floor on. I believe they try to keep everything almost like a ranch style living. Everything's on one floor.
By keeping the proposed residence at its current dimensions, you're infringing on the riverfront, and you're putting snow with chemicals so it can drain into the river, which we as a commission are not supposed to approve things like that. So I would seriously consider, I mean, you could easily take away, yeah, a two-story addition with two bedrooms up, two bedrooms down, I don't know.
Well, this is designed to have 8 rooms.
Excuse me?
This is designed to have 8 residents total.
There's 4 bedrooms,
So,
right? Oh,
There's
proposed,
there's 4 bedrooms in the front and there's 4 bedrooms in the back.
so I'm talking, well, the front is already exists, right?
Right now it exists as a 3-bedroom, and they just put an addition on to add an additional bedroom.
Okay.
All
So,
right.
but the one that's proposed is a 4-bedroom. You could make it a 5-bedroom if you had to, but you could make it a 2-story level. I mean, are these physically disabled people, or you said they were hearing impaired?
So my understanding is that like I said, the one I just did in Danvers were people that were visually impaired. My understanding is this one is for people that are audibly impaired, but I don't know anything more about physicality. Like I said, this is the second one I've done of these, and they're all on one floor. I haven't seen one where there was
Or maybe
A
they have
two-story.
the luxury of having plenty of area to put the dwelling in, which you don't have that luxury here.
So there is a two-story in Danvers, where the school for the deaf is, where there's residents there.
I agree. Listen, I'm just telling you what I know. You're asking questions. First of all, I'm not the architect,
Yeah.
and I'm not I'm not Northeast Arc.
This
This is what
guy's,
this is what they're asking.
Okay, well, I think
Gonna-
the feeling
I
we're
gotta chime
getting,
in here. We gotta move on. We're already doing a site visit. It's almost 9 o'clock. Can we please just move on? We already talked this to death.
well, we haven't talked it to
It's a
death, but
great
I'll,
project if it was in Salem, but,
uh,
yeah, I would just like to continue it right now.
okay.
Through the
Uh,
chair, I would agree, but there, Robin, I think, an abutter was able to, I put her as a panelist, so I think if she can unmute, Robin, if you can,
Yeah.
if that is your name, please, say your name and address for the record.
It's actually using another account, Tammy Gitter, 7 Correllits Road. And really my opposition is the flooding aspect. And if the stormwater is being put in the back of the house,
Yes,
what's to prevent it just from going into the Proctor Brook area?
These are subsurface systems, so they don't discharge across the surface. They go several feet below the ground.
But below the ground, then wouldn't it just continue down the slope?
So it would be down the slope, and it would eventually join the groundwater.
Which then ends up into the pond
So
behind.
every drop of water that lands around your house is going to end up in either Proctor Brook, and then everything ends up in the ocean. So yes, everything follows gravity, and all groundwater ends up in the rivers and
Yes, so
streams. and
that is my concern, is that the level going into Proctor Brook will raise Proctor Brook.
This will not raise Proctor Brook, no.
In this area. I mean, I can
It
see
will
out
not.
my backyard when we have a rainstorm, just a normal rainstorm, that there are water, even though it's a dried up part, water does flow through there.
You live adjacent to a large perennial stream that has a big flood zone. So yes, you're going to see water there when it rains.
So, but there's no guarantee that this is going to make it better or make it worse.
We have a stormwater report and calculations on our drainage analysis that show that we're actually going to reduce the amount of surface runoff that comes off of this property, and we're going to increase the amount of groundwater recharge that goes into the subsurface, which is the intent of the stormwater management standards, is just to reduce pollutant travel and to reduce erosion and to reduce rates of runoff that run across the surface into bodies of water.
But the water still has
So
to
we've
go
met
somewhere.
we've met those standards.
Right. I mean, the water may run off from there, but it still has to go somewhere. So that's really just my objection to it.
so,
Yep, it is ultimately, all of this water will somehow join the groundwater below Proctor Brook, and then ultimately end up in the Atlantic Ocean.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep. I think another hand was raised and I did promote them to a panelist. So if they want to speak, they can unmute and just state their name and address for the record again, if they haven't already stated it.
At 305 Lowell Street, Tanya Costa. So I understood that you said that the pollutant water will go down, but that doesn't deter that water in itself will go ahead and run off. Is there some way that we can see that report and analyze it, since you have a report?
There's copies of it at the planning board, and there's copies of it with Lucia. And yes, there are the stormwater reports for anybody to take a look at.
Yep, through the chair, Tanya, I just sent you an email and I should be able to share the link to all the documents that Peter and his team have submitted. And if you want to come and look at the hard copies, you're welcome to do that. We just need to set up a time. But otherwise, it sounds like we do have a site visit set up for April 23rd at 5 o'clock. And my suggestion is, Peter, maybe you and your team get there at like 4:30 in case we are quick at 309. And then we walk down over just so, because I imagine Amanda's probably going to have to like not stay that long. So we might have people mingling back and forth. Just a thought.
Yeah.
No
But
problem.
otherwise, I don't see anyone else in the public, and I would agree. I still think that this plan needs some revisions that, if you guys are going to approve
So
it, I
if
would
I
think.
could, I just want to say that I know I want to move this along and we'll move on to the next item. But we can't talk about the project at the site visit. We got to be careful what we say. So I wanted to get my voice. I want to say tonight that, and I think some of the commissioners are saying, would like to see a different configuration here and maybe a smaller area or a smaller building or a two-story building, something that moves the building, the shape, the size, the location, such that everything can be outside the resource area. So that's just, so if you could do that, with your team, and so that when we come back next meeting, you can address that question or the answer to that question that we have, because we can't ask it at the site meeting.
Actually, through the chair, we will be able to, because both of these were discussed and stated at a public hearing, and the neighbors are invited, and I will make sure that they are posted at least 48 hours before the meeting online and in City Hall, inside and outside City Hall. So as long as the neighbors are welcome, and it sounded like on both sites, I would imagine if the 303 Lowell Street team will not allow people, yes, that is the case if they make people stand on the sidewalk, which may be rude, but I get it, or they can have people sign waivers.
Okay. Okay, then,
So do we
This
know
one?
do we know yet if the public are going to be allowed on this site visit?
On this one here, Lucia?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe Jack and I said yes at the beginning
Okay,
of the
great.
meeting.
So I will make sure I'm going to put it in my calendar before I log off tonight after this meeting to make sure that those are posted 48 hours in advance. And Tanya and or Tammy, please reach out to me if you guys need copies of any of the plans and I can send them over.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then we'll try to
Thank
move
you, everybody.
along here. Thank you for your presentation.
All right. Have a nice evening. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yes, thank you.
Bye. Have a nice evening, everyone.
The next item on the agenda is item number 5. It's under
You guys
continued
didn't continue it.
Well,
Motion.
I make a
Sorry.
motion to continue.
Second.
All right, that motion to continue to the May meeting was made by Leslie, seconded by Amanda. Roll call Rizzo. Rizzo?
Yes.
Vivaldi?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
Garrett?
Yes.
Athos?
Arthur, you're muted.
Sir,
Athos?
Yes.
Womack?
Yes.
And Quartermach.
yes.
All right, so that item is continued 7-0, and there is a site visit on Thursday, April 23rd at 5 o'clock, and the neighbors are welcome to attend.
Very good. Okay. Next item on the agenda is item number 5. Continue public hearing and notice of intent submitted by Robert Marini from Native Tech for Lopez Alvaro Perez, owner. The proposed project involves landscaping and recreational improvements, retaining wall construction to expand the yard, in-ground pool, installing stormwater features. The property is known as 90 Winona Street, map 45, lot 26 in the city of Peabody.
Rob Marini, Native Tech, 31 Monroe Street in Lynn. regarding this project at 90 Winona Street. We do have a DEP file number 0550973. I'd like to share my screen. Okay.
Can you repeat that DEP number 905 what?
0550973. Can you see the plan?
No,
No.
You see it now?
no.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay.
You see it?
Yes.
Now we do.
Now you do? Okay, good. Okay, so he's doing two things. He's proposing two things, and there's been a lot of constant. It's right on the riverfront, and it's right on the BVW. There's no further alteration to the resource area other than what already is. What he wants to do is he wants to flatten his front yard. I mean, that's just what he wants to do. I mean, I know there's been a lot of consternation about it, but there's no further encroachment towards the resource area. It's just taking the plane that's at a slope and constructing it vertically with a wall here and with a railing on top. He wants more front yard. That's why he's doing it. So the other aspect of this proposal, basically the stream runs from Devil's Dishful through his yard, and this is how the house was constructed, to another pond on the other side of Winona. So the other aspect of his project is he wants to construct a pool in the rear. There's a lot of pavement for pool deck. He's willing to shift it a little bit. There's infiltrators to capture the runoff, but siltation control barrier around the entire limit of work. That's about it. Any comments? I can get him on. I can ping him and get him on the call if you need him. Someone said they might need him. Eduardo, the owner.
Through the chair.
I'm sorry.
Through the chair.
I'm sorry.
I think Mike stepped away. I'd go ahead.
Just speak, Amanda.
I went out with Lucia on the site visit, and there's almost like no front yard, and he wants to like extend it, and I'm like, heck no, it's like right there, and he'd be like putting it even more in the resource area is like a huge drop, which he thinks is dangerous for the kids and everything, and it is. But to build it out and then put a wall there, I just think it's like way too intrusive to the wetlands. And then the pool in the back, I have no issue with at all. But yeah, then we were discussing instead of like extending the front yard out and everything, to end up just at least being able to put a fence up. And then he wanted to kind of like beautify the wetlands, which is filled with invasive species right now. And he wanted to take that stuff out and plant new stuff, which instead of doing this yard extension with a wall. And but I'm not okay at all with the work in the front yard as proposed, but backyard's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, there's no further encroachment. It's just his aesthetic of what he wants. And, it's, who am I to say, but we do have a treatment of the aesthetically of the front of the wall. So when you see it, there's like a brick facade to the wall when you're driving in. But like I said, there's no really, all he's doing is taking the base of the slope, projecting it vertically. So there's a wall and then he's making it flat. There's no, the way that slope is now, there's not a lot of growth on that existing slope. But you know, it's your call. I don't see, there is a tree or two that's been cut prior to my going out there. He's willing to replant.
I was out
Did he-
there,
when-
I'm sorry.
When did he cut the tree?
I don't know if he did it or he bought the house that way. I'm not sure.
Through the chair,
That
he
was-
received permission.
Yeah.
He received permission to leave it it's like 5 feet tall.
When was that done though, Lucia?
No, it's about a 16-inch DBH tree. Let's see here, can you see my cursor?
I know exactly where it is because I
Yeah.
issued the permit for him to have it down, and we wouldn't allow him to cut it flush to the ground because he didn't come to the meeting. He was supposed to come to the hearing for a tree permit application and he didn't show up. And at the meeting, you guys said he could only cut it down. He had to leave like at least 5 or 6 feet to it. He was supposed to be here tonight. I'm a little confused. But
I
while
can
I'm
get him
speaking,
on. Lucia,
while
I
I'm
can get him on.
speaking,
He wants me
can
to
I
pin
please
him.
finish speaking?
Yeah.
While I'm speaking, we still don't you guys still don't have a revised electronic plan. So Rob, I've been asking you for months at this point to send over the revised plan, and if you could please revise the date on it, because both of the plans I have, I believe they both say the same date of December 2025. DEP, we are still waiting for you to provide comments from DEP. Applicant should provide the wetland delineation report and the project narrative indicating how the performance standards are met for work within the resource area. There are 2 and 3 flags. I'm assuming one is supposed to be riverfront and one's supposed to be for the BBW. And DEP wants that to be corrected on the plan, as we should have that corrected on our plan. Existing and proposed features should be clearly identified on the site plans, including existing and proposed grades, fencing, stockpile, vegetation removal, etc. The wall indicates a retaining wall is proposed within 2 feet of the BBW, but this is not shown on the plan view. This should be clarified. So we are still waiting for, you guys don't even have the right plans. I don't see us voting on this tonight. And
No,
when we
we're
were
not.
with the property owner, me and Amanda, he sounded like he was fine with forgetting about the wall because it's like, Amanda,
Yeah.
what were we saying? It's going to be like a $20,000 wall, and he said like his friends are going to do it. I'm a little nervous about like getting some free work getting done like 2 feet from the river. I just have a feeling it's going to turn into a nightmare for me. But again, that's your guys' call. It's my job to make sure if the bricks do fall in the river, I got to go out there. But when we were on the site, he sounded like he was fine with
Yeah.
having a fence in the front, and there's also an issue with the lot lines. I don't know if Attorney Kilty's still on, but the next door neighbor and him are doing a land swap. So you guys aren't even looking at, we can't even vote on this because these lot lines aren't even correct. They're going to be changing probably in a month.
Yeah. I concur with that, and also, I was out there and I met with the owner, we talked about the project, and I think building a wall at that close proximity to the resource area, to the brook, is just too close, too much encroachment. This site, this lot was contentious from the beginning when they built the house. And these questions came up with how close the front of the house was gonna be to the river, and I don't know if it's on the record, but we said, we don't wanna see anything more in the front of this property. And here we are, so many years later, looking to fill in fill in the slope with, that is 2 feet from the brook. It's just too much. It's too much. There's already stone riprap there. I talked with the owner about it and made a suggestion that you could beautify it somewhat by introducing some soils between the stones, all that riprap between the stones, and you could plant perennials like phlox and things like that that would look nice. It would green up, it would look nice in the during the summer without having to fill that in and moving activity, within 2 feet of the brook. So I don't think the commission is in favor of doing the wall. If property owner wants to make a presentation or make a submission that shows some beautification in some way by planting the slope and putting some flowers in there, and I think I mentioned about the stump. I think the stump was 5 feet high. He could cut that down to about 3 feet, so it wouldn't be sticking up so much, but still leave the stump, because that's the root system is what helps hold that slope in addition to the stones. So I don't think the commission is looking to see a project that's gonna have a concrete wall right adjacent to the river. It's just too close. But the area in the back with the pool, I felt that seemed to be okay. But the slope goes up just a very short distance from the patio area up. It goes up very steep. And as you know, if you have a pool, the yard's got to be fenced in, or the pool area has to be fenced in. So that fence would have to be put at the top of the slope and worked into the fencing around the yard. And that's when he mentioned about the property line was going to change. So we need to see something that's going to be accurate and correct. And Rob, I had a question that, what is that beside the dwelling? Looking at I have the plant right there, dark spot. What is that rectangular area?
That's infiltrators, drainage for the runoff from the deck and the patio.
Okay, the patio is
This here, the rectangular.
yeah. So the patio is flat or level, or it pitches slightly. So
I mean, it's a
you're
slight, unnoticeable, yeah.
so you're picking up the runoff and putting it
Right.
into chambers underneath. Okay,
Right.
it's not labeled. I didn't see anything that says what it is.
Yeah, there's a label there, right here.
Stormwater underground chamber. The arrows point to something other than,
Yeah,
yeah, it's not pointing to the
it's not
chambers.
pointing to the infiltrators. Yeah, somehow it must have jumped when I made the PDF or something.
All right. Well, fix that. When you get
Yeah.
a chance.
Yeah, I got it, right.
Okay, so where do we go from here?
Well, if you guys, if you think the consensus is to not have the wall, I mean, theoretically, there's no further encroachment, but that's theoretically. If you don't think the vote's gonna fly for having a wall there, he's willing to just do the pool. I talked to him
Okay.
earlier, and I invited
right.
him to get on the call. I asked him to get on the call just now.
Okay,
So I don't know if
that'll
he's
be
on.
fine with us. That'll be fine
Uh,
with us, but if he does want to do something with that slope to make it nice and to beautify it,
Yeah.
you know that he needs to know he has to come to us and tell us what he's doing in a submission. So he has you right now to, if he wants to put some flowers or some plantings or some perennials in and
Yeah.
amongst those rocks, then that'd be a good time to do it.
All right. Right, feed
So
it
just-
into the,
Just let him know.
yeah, I will. I'll do that.
Okay. So we're gonna be, we've already done the site visit, so we continue this to our next meeting then? And we could see a new plan that shows what we expect to see out
Okay,
there?
unless you could close the hearing subject to removing the wall aspects.
No, we can't, I'm not doing that, because we haven't, DEP hasn't seen anything yet, and,
All right,
yeah, can't do that.
Plus there's
So we
a
can-
property line dispute or
Yeah.
something.
all right.
Right, so we need to have all that back with us, with the real picture, the correct, the changes, the wall detail not there, and,
Property line swap. Property swap.
Yeah, through the chair, you want to reach out to Attorney Kilty about that property line. The property owner knows about it because he was taught, I don't know why he didn't tell you about it. And when we were also on site, the property owner sounded like he really wanted to keep his child's swing set in the back, and you put the pool right there. So that's something to also talk to him about, where he wants to put his swing set. That should be shown on a revised plan. And as I said, DEP, you really have to submit what DEP is asking for. I've been waiting for it since January at this point. You know, you filed in December, and I'm not going to keep chasing you, Rob, for revised plans. I'm done emailing asking you for revised plans. So the board literally still does not have the plan that we're looking at right now because you never submitted it to me electronically.
Electronically? This is
That's how they
electronic.
review everything, is electronically. So if you don't submit it electronically, they don't see it. And that's how I do all of my paperwork with DEP. Everything goes through the portal, so I need everything electronically.
Oh, but you got this, I mean, a PDF is electronic. Was this not?
Yeah, you sent me, from what I
Yeah.
remember, I still don't have the revised wall detail electronically. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty certain.
Revised, so this is the original detail, you think?
No, you just never
No.
gave me that. You gave me a hard copy. That's it. And
Okay,
I
so you
kept
never got,
asking you numerous times, and I'm telling you, I'm done. I'm no longer reminding you. You have to remember what happens at these meetings.
all right, so you never got the PDF that I have here that has all the images.
I'm seeing that on the, from the old drive, OneDrive. I see the exact plan that he's presented.
Okay, then I guess it's on there. What's the date of it though? December 2025?
Mhm.
Oh,
Because
see,
if it's December 2025, I mean, he revised it at well after December 2025.
It's December
Yeah,
2025. That's the
that's it.
modified date. So there's no new one there.
Yeah,
All
he
right.
modified it in like February or March for you guys. So I'm just like, people have to make sure that they put revisions on plans.
All right.
It says 12/3/25. But we need, we'll need a new plan that, whatever changes you make, you can submit that in for the next meeting.
All right,
And don't forget the revision date.
sure, I'll take a note of that.
So you can decide, Rob, about, it sounds like there's a bunch of things with this land swap and the property line and stuff like, so we can say we'll continue to the next meeting, but if you need more time, just let us know.
All right. Yeah, so you can't make a decision until the land swap's final, is that it?
Well, I think it affects, it's, it's all in the buffer, it's all in the resource area. So we need to have an accurate plan.
All right, but you can't make, this is what I'm wondering. The land swap hasn't taken place, you can't make a decision? If you know that there's going to be a land swap, I just.
Yeah, but we don't know what the
Sure, I
land
think
swap
you're
looks
hearing.
like.
I'm
We don't
sorry,
know.
Lucia.
Like, I don't know, like, what if the lot changes and now part of the pool's on the neighbor's property? I mean, I think you
Sure.
gotta at least show us, you at least gotta show us something, like what the proposed land swap is gonna be, at least put the land swap line on the plan. If
Right.
the land swap happens, this is what the new lot line's gonna look like, this is what it looks like now.
Okay, I'll get with Scott. All right,
Motion to continue, Mr. Chairman.
If somebody wants to make a motion, if I think we're okay right now, I think we can make a motion to continue this.
Amy made a motion to continue.
Yep.
I think the owner might be on, I don't know.
I'll
Is the
second
owner
it.
there?
He might be.
The owner is not on. There's two people in the audience and I know
Oh.
exactly who they are.
All right, okay.
So that motion to continue is made by Jamie, seconded by Leslie. Roll call, Rizzo,
Yes?
Vivaldi,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Harrop,
Yes.
Athos,
Yes.
Colmack,
Yes.
and Quartermatch.
Yes.
All right, the item is continued to May 6th, 7-0.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah.
Item number 6 is under enforcement orders, violations. To continue enforcement order issued to Daniel Botello and Jocelyn Alves conclaves for the following activities: bringing in 9 to 10 dump trucks of fill and placing in the boarding vegetated wetland, estimated between 2,000 and 4,000 square feet of wetland was altered, grade changed significantly, greater than 2 feet, and removing trees and vegetation. That amount was still to be determined without a permit from the commission. The address is known as 26 Trask Road, map 61, lot 13 in the city of Peabody. And apparently we don't have any updates, or do we have updates?
Oh, yes. Hi, good evening, commission members. Nicole Ferrara from LEC Environmental.
Hi, Nicole.
Yep, I have good news. Happy to announce that all the fill has been removed. And it was a decent effort. It was at least 20 dump trucks. We did submit photos to the commission of the progress during and then after the work was done. There was an area, we had a site visit on Monday with Lucia to review the conditions. There was a little bit of soil around the trunk of one of the trees. So the contractor's going to remove that. And after, the site's going to get reseeded. And then the erosion blanket is going to go down to stabilize the soil until all those seeds can pop up. There was a delay with the surveyor, but that's first on the homeowners to-do list to get them out there to locate the revised wetland boundary. As after the enforcement order is resolved, they're hoping to come before the commission with a proposal for a fence installation. And I believe that's all I have for an update.
I have a question. Unfortunately, I apologize. I was not at that meeting. I totally missed it. But I talked to Dr. Lucian. There was something about the amount of soils or the amount of material that had to be removed, and that there may have been another horizon or another strata of soils that was different than the one on top. And my question is that material not native, or is that fill also that could have been added some time back, separate from this event?
Yeah, that's a great question. We did encounter additional what appeared to be fill that was different than the fill that was placed by the current owner. We observed that it had a different texture. It was more rocky, stony, and sandy, whereas the homeowner's fill was more of like a loam. And based on looking at aerial imagery, it looks like that fill was placed by the previous owner to just raise it up a little bit. But it was, over 3 years ago before the current owner bought the property. So we stopped removing the fill once we hit that layer.
Okay, so if that material should not be there, in accordance with the state regulations, and doing that work probably done without a permit also, why isn't the property owner required to remove that?
Yeah, typically
And how
after. Go
do you
ahead.
know, sorry, do you know how long ago that might have been put in, and did the owner own the property at that time?
Yep, so the current owner bought the property in 2020. And it looks
Okay.
like the fill, based on aerial imagery and the LiDAR, was placed before that. The
Okay.
owner has owned it for more than 3 years after purchasing the property. So typically they're not on the hook for any violations that may have occurred by a previous owner.
Okay. So that's different than the environmental law if it was contaminated material.
Correct.
Is that correct? So it's not contaminated. If it was contaminated, it goes back to the generator. Is that correct? Who generated the,
That might be. I'm not an expert on the contaminated soils laws.
yeah, I think I remember that from a long time ago. If it's contaminated soil, then it's the actual generator who put it there is responsible. But if this is just, if this is clean fill, it doesn't have anything that's dangerous or then I'll defer to you to say whether or not it's required to be removed.
I don't believe the soil was I mean, we tested, we had a company hired to test the fill that was recently placed. I don't know those exact locations, but it definitely was in the footprint of, that fill. If they picked up any of the previous fill that was there, I can, ask to get maybe more specific locations to see if any of that was tested as well.
Okay.
Is
All right.
that fill, oh, excuse me, does that fill seem stable to you? The rock fill that you're talking about?
Yeah, it appears to have settled in over many years. There's currently a shed on it now. There's a pool and some landscaping features. That seems, I mean, I'm not a geotech engineer, but as in terms of stability, it's very, very compact.
Okay.
Thank you.
Through the chair, we did talk about, I pointed out one particular tree that the root flare definitely needed to get dug out. But there was a couple other ones that they might want to look at as well that are still in that filled area. Pretty much any of those that, that their root flares hidden, I think they should be dug out. Trying to think. So the game plan is they're going to file an after the fact filing once they clear up this enforcement order, or at the same time or soon. The building department was out on the site with us, Chris W., the code enforcer, as well as Dan Tiranzoni, the building inspector. They have a lot of other issues on this property, so they are requiring a survey plan of what's out there right now, and that's going to show, I'm assuming it's going to show everything that Nicole just worked on to clear our BVW up with the buffer zones. I know there was some illegal buffer zone alteration trees. Perhaps in the future, under this enforcement order, we require some plantings along the edge of the buffer zone and the BVW. I mean, that could certainly be done under the enforcement order and maybe also mirrored in an RDA application, but mandated in the enforcement order. So just some food for thought. They still do have a long journey before they're in compliance with us and with the city.
Okay. Was there questions about some additional structures on the site?
Yes, there's a second, like, I don't know if that's like a cabana. I think that was, he bought the house with that cabana. Again, that's something that I'm gonna let the building department. I'm gonna try to find out if it looks like it would have been in buffer zone, so we should have technically signed off on that, but we did have some permitting software glitches where there was years, like 10 years ago, the building department was just given permits for everything, and I was running around like stopping, cease and desist everybody. It was crazy. So that might have been what happened. But then I think there also is like a pavilion, and I don't think they have any permits for that. I think the actual house cabana structure was permitted again, I will look into that, and that's under the purview of the building department and of course us, because it's our buffer zone. But the cabana or the pavilion, it sounds like they don't have any permits for that, and they definitely need to go to the zoning board of appeals for that. And it sounded like the zoning board's probably going to make them take at least, I think, Nicole, did they say like 100 square feet? I thought that was what he was saying,
Yeah.
to cut it down. But anyway, I guess we wait until we get that survey plan and we keep that enforcement order. And then if he wants to file an after the fact RDA for everything else, we can certainly have them both on the agenda at the same time, but that it would be up to like LEC and the property owner of how they want to work that out. But at some point, they are going to have to do some sort of after the fact filing, because there's a lot of alteration in buffer zone that I haven't even touched on yet, because all I've cared about up to this point is the vegetated wetland being filled and us clearing that out, which
Okay.
LEC did a wonderful job so far.
Great. Okay, so we will continue this item then?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so there's no other questions? Am I missing something? We can,
Oh,
take
there's
a
actually a
motion.
hand raised. If I don't know if we want to
Okay.
take, I'm gonna unmute, and if you want to state your name and address for the record.
My name is Nicholas Waugh. I live at 26 Trask Road, 24 Trask Road. Just from, we've lived there 15 years, and I can tell you that our previous neighbors, we never saw them touch anything in between our property and their property in 15 years, since we've been here. The only time we've seen anything happen next door is after they've left, after these people have moved in. Trees have come down, all that property in the back behind my property had gotten filled in, and that was kind of the tipping point when we decided to call and figure out what's going on over here, because we've lost all privacy we've had. Everything in between us and them. I've had to spend money to put up a fence. I've had to spend money to take care of our yard and everything. And it's just, I'm just giving my 2 cents, because I can tell you what, we never saw our previous owner touch anything back there, our previous neighbor.
Okay, well, I'm sure there's gonna be some, a planting plan of some sort that would probably follow along with whatever's, whatever that happens here to restore this. There'll always be an opportunity to put some plantings or some shrubs or trees, perhaps, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move to continue.
Okay, so, motion to continue this?
Motion to continue.
Seconded.
I have a second? Second
Right,
by Amanda?
Yep, that motion to continue to the May meeting was made by Harrop, seconded by Green. Roll call. Rizzo,
Yes?
Vivaldi,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Harrop,
Yes.
Ethos,
Yes.
Comac,
Yes.
and Portamach.
Yes.
All right, so that item is continued 7-0, and as soon as I get that surveyed plan, I will certainly share it with everybody.
Thank you,
Okay.
commission members and Lucia. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is item number 7.
Minutes.
Can you? Am I correct? 7?
Nope, 7 and 8 were both continued at previous hearings to May 6th, so
Yeah.
you don't need to make a
No,
motion for
no,
either
no
of
motion
those.
necessary.
Yep,
Okay.
there's just other is National Grid exemption request. And then the
Okay.
minutes, of course.
All right.
So Alicia, can you explain the National Grid?
It should be on the OneDrive. It's under utility maintenance exemption. It's listed in the regs, but they should be sending courtesy letters like this. So they are being very polite. Some people just go out and do whatever they want. It is 2,085 linear feet of line from 6 Endicott Street to 91 Endicott Street.
So like underground gas line, is that what I suspect?
It's replacing, I believe. It's replacing what's already there.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
All right.
And of course, they have to still install erosion controls and all that, and let me know when it's starting.
Yeah, I saw something there, but why don't I see this in my agenda? But I remember this.
It's under other, so right after item number 8.
No, I don't have it. I don't know why. I know what we're talking about, but I don't see it on my agenda, so I've got to look at it again.
It looks like the letter is dated April 3rd, so maybe if you had an older version, Mr. Chairman, maybe because it just came in, it looks like the end of last week.
The agenda is definitely on the OneDrive. It gets a little odd though. So
No, it's me. It's me.
Yeah, it does get weird though. It's not just you because I just looked at it. It's on there, but it like kind of slightly changes the format a tiny bit. At least what I was looking at, it like kind of lumped the exemption with the minutes. So if you look at it real quick, it looks like it's all the minutes. So it's not just you, Mike.
No, with me. With me, I was, sometimes I have, the minutes, I have the agendas from the previous meeting. I have notes on both of them, so I was looking at one from a different month. That's why I didn't see it. I'm sorry. I got it right here. Okay. I know I looked at it. I know I saw it, but the piece of paper I had in front of me, I'm saying, where is that? Okay. So we need the motion to accept the exemption.
Motion to accept the exemption from National Grid.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, that motion to accept the exemption from National Grid was made by Arthur, seconded by Jamie. Roll call. Rizzo.
Yes.
Vivaldi.
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
Harrop.
Yes.
Ethis.
Yes.
Womack.
Yes.
And Quartermanch.
Yes.
All right, so the exemption was accepted, and the last two things are just
Okay.
the February minutes. I never even started the March, sorry.
Motion
Okay.
to accept the February minutes.
Have a
Second.
second?
All right, that motion to accept was made by Amanda, seconded by Jamie, just the February minutes. Roll call. Rizzo.
Yes.
Vivaldi.
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
Harrop.
Yes.
Ethis.
Yes.
Womack.
Yes.
And Quartermanch.
Yes.
All right, so the February minutes are accepted 7-0.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All right, a motion to adjourn was made by Amanda, seconded by Leslie. Roll call. Rizzo.
Yes.
Vivaldi.
2 thumbs up.
Green.
Yes.
Harrop.
Yes.
Athis.
Yes.
Womack.
Yes.
And Quartermanch.
Yes.
All right,
All right.
9:36, the meeting adjourns.
Good job, everybody.
Woohoo.
Thank you. We were spoiled by the last 2 meetings because those went so fast.
This is still early, but
It
and
is.
there's a new Patrick is the new Stefan for the night. I don't know if Patrick wants to say hi, but thank you, Patrick. You got off early tonight. Thanks, everybody.
What
Thank
happened?
you.
What happened to the May schedule? Are you going someplace in May, or it's out of order?
Yeah, the following Wednesday I'm not going to be in the office, so that's why it's May 6th.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, thanks
Good night,
everyone,
guys.
and I'll see you
Bye, guys.
guys. We'll
Good night, everybody.
I'll send an
Night.
email reminding you about the April 23rd meeting, okay?
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Mark your
Bye.
calendars, but I'll try to send an email tomorrow.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks, Lucia.
Good night.
Good night.